Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. This week I'm going to give a little bit of an update on my life because there has been so much happening, or rather there's been a lot of things that have been a long time coming that have finally happened, so I've got a little bit of update on that. And then this afternoon I'm going to go for a run as well, so I'm going to bring you along with me because it might be one of the last times I do this route, but that's unlikely. Just to shed some light on the kind of cryptic clues that I've been giving you all. I am finally moving house. Finally moving in with my boyfriend in our own house, our first house, just the two of us together, first time ever. Very exciting. As you can tell, it's something that I have been super excited about for a really long time, and I think I've mentioned it on here earlier this year when we were looking for houses back in June and July. I think we started early June, we started looking for houses, and it's finally come to fruition. So to rewind a little bit, we were planning on getting a house at the beginning of this year and then thought, actually no, we don't really know what we're doing with our lives, so maybe we should just settle a little bit, keep doing what we were doing. So I was living in London in my flat there, and Rhian was living here in Dorset doing all of his fostering stuff after his PhD. We just kind of wanted to settle a little bit into what we were doing to make sure that we kind of knew what we were going to be doing for at least the next 5 years approximately, and so we weren't going to be buying a house in totally the wrong city or totally the wrong place. These are big decisions, so you've got to make sure they're the right ones, and so we didn't buy a house at the beginning of this year, and so we set it back a year. So 2021 we were planning on buying a house then, and then obviously the lockdown happened, COVID happened, everything sort of just went, just exploded. I came down here for lockdown, as you guys will know if you started following me recently and you saw all the gardening content and all the outdoorsy stuff. Previously I was split between London and Dorset, and I decided to spend all my time during lockdown here in Dorset and stay here for what's been about 8 months now, which has been an incredible time for me, absolutely amazing. And so we were in this room here, lovely room, for just the two of us at my boyfriend's parents' house for about 8 months, sort of on and off, but mostly on. And we just thought, actually, why not speed up the process of buying a house and start it sooner rather than later. And then when Rishi Sunak, who does the money stuff here in the UK, announced that they were going to be cutting stamp duty, which is basically a tax that you have to pay when you buy a new house, we thought now is the time, and so we basically just started properly looking for houses. That means a saving of around £10,000, so we thought, actually, although we could probably save up more money if we went to buy a house next year, actually the saving of £10,000 means that we can do it a little bit sooner than we otherwise would have been able to. So it's big news, it was good news for us, and it basically meant that we were travelling between here and Bristol, which is our chosen destination, for, oh my god, literally like 5 weeks of seeing like 5 houses a day. Not every day, obviously, but I think we saw about 25 houses total. And we actually had an offer accepted on one that then we were supposed to move in August, but then that house sale fell through, and it was really gutting for us actually, because the whole thing was it was supposed to be pretty quick, and that's exactly what we wanted, but it ended up falling through literally right before we were about to pay all the money. So thankfully we didn't lose too much money, but it kind of really put us on the back foot a little bit. So we then went to go and see some more houses in Bristol, and thankfully we both know Bristol really well, so we sort of knew a bit about where we wanted to be, you know, the sorts of houses that we wanted, the sorts of transport links that we needed as well, because I'm still going to be working in London and Rhian's still going to be travelling down here to Dorset. Essentially we found another house that was perfect for us, and I think I spoke about my offer being accepted perhaps back in July, I think it was. It was either June or July, and our offer was accepted when I was on a photo shoot. I just got a call from our estate agent basically saying, they've accepted your offer, and I was like, this is the best day ever. And that was that. And then nothing. And I don't know how many of you will have bought a house or had experience of other people close to you buying houses, but we literally heard nothing about it from then on. And it's been about 5.5 months now, and it will have been 6 months approximately by the time we move in since our offer was accepted. And we literally heard nothing until recently, and it was a total nightmare. And having been burnt once before, we were extremely stressed out that essentially they would just kind of drag us along for the ride. And with the house buying process here in England, not Scotland, basically the vendor, the person selling the house to you, can pull out of the house sale, literally right up until you've exchanged contracts and paid the money. So that means that you have to pay any fees up to that point. So you've got to get the house surveyed, you've got to pay your solicitor, you've got to, oh god, there are definitely some other fees as well that you also have to pay. And if the house sale falls through, you still have to pay those fees, but then you also have to start all over again. So we were very, very concerned that that was going to happen again, and that we were going to lose a huge amount of money and basically be back to square one 6 months after we'd had this offer accepted. But thankfully, last week we heard the news that the exchange had happened and we were set to complete on the 8th of December. Which is incredible for us. It means we'll be in time for Christmas, moving up to a tier 3 zone, and basically, yeah, we'll have our own place by then. And I'm so excited, and obviously it's a very, very privileged position to be in, but my god, it has been stressful. But we're very lucky, so I'm super happy, and I cannot wait to show you guys the new routes around Bristol. I'm from Bristol, as you guys probably will have heard me say before, or possibly if you actually if you have subscribed to my channel. I am from Bristol, well, not from Bristol, I'm from London, but I went to university in Bristol, which is where my boyfriend and I met. We both went to uni there. I did my undergrad there, he did his undergrad, masters and PhD there. I've been travelling back and forth between London and Bristol for the last 5 years or so. This is the first year we've spent not in Bristol, and we will be back there before the end of the year, so that's super exciting for us. The great thing about it is that it's only 2 hours to get down here to Dorset, it's only 2 hours to get to London or less on the train, and that means that we can both do what we both love to do. And for me, that, you know, involves a lot of blogging stuff in London or meetings and that kind of stuff there. For Rhian, that means coming and finding fossils here on the beach and doing all of his prep work down here without having to travel a huge distance, but also having somewhere to come back to together, rather than living separately and then doing our work somewhere and then sort of crossing over to try and see each other every other week or so, which is what we were doing up until this year, which obviously wasn't ideal. So this is a very exciting move, and I'm super happy that we finally got there. When I announced this on my Instagram, I actually immediately lost like 100 followers, and I have a feeling those will have been people who are obsessed with the Dorset countryside, who really enjoy the views that we've got here, really like the kind of countryside aesthetic that I've got going on my Instagram, which, by the way, if you don't already follow, you probably should. And I lost 100 followers immediately, and I have a feeling that might be because people think that once I'm in Bristol, I'm just not going to be running anymore, or if I am running, it's just going to be on roads. And I cannot tell you how far from the truth that is. When I lived in Bristol previously, I was doing so many trail runs. That was actually where I first took up trail running, because you've got the gorgeous Ashton Court, which is essentially it's basically a very big green area. It's the most amazing thing for running. Bristol is also very hilly, so I'm crossing my fingers that all of the training that I've done down here will be really helpful when I get there, because oh my god, coming from London to Bristol, I found running so difficult. So I'm super excited to have had a little bit of practice on the hills here. I did also pretty much all of my long runs in training for Tokyo Marathon also in Bristol. So I think it's fair to say that there's plenty of running content that will be happening there. And also, just to alleviate any fears that I will never be coming to Dorset again, half of Rhian's work is down here, and it's obviously also where my in-laws live, so I will be spending a huge amount of time down here as well. And when Rhian comes here for fossiling or whatever, there's a good chance that I'll be escaping the city as well and coming here for a bit more greenery and a bit of running and spending some time on the coast as well, which will be wonderful. And I feel extremely lucky to have it so close by and to also have somewhere to stay here as and when I need to. The in-laws are lovely, so I'm very lucky. I know that's not always the case. Anyway, I hope you enjoy that update. I feel like it will explain a lot of things to come when I don't have this yellow wall and these shells and all these plants behind me. I will be trying to film a whole load of stuff so that I'm not filming over the space of the move, and so that I'm not filming over Christmas, because I'm hoping to give myself a little bit of time off. But if there is anything that you'd like to see in between the time that this vlog goes out and Christmas, then please do let me know in the comments below, because I will be be filming as and when I can so that you guys can have some content over the festive season. I'm going to get ready to go for a run now, just get a little bit of food in me, and then I'm going to be heading out over the hills. It is a beautiful day outside and I'm super excited to be getting out into the sunshine. Just set out on this extremely chilly afternoon to head out on my run. Hiya! It's clouded over a little bit, so what was a nice little bit of warmth from the sun has very probably disappeared. I don't think we're going to get a nice sunset, but I'm going to head up there and hope for the best anyway. I do this route at least once a week, either running or walking. It's a really nice 5k route that's actually quite tough because it's very hilly. Straight up in the first kilometre, 500 metres of like 20% incline, which is always fun, but definitely a good way to warm up. This hill is tough. Literally only 1 kilometre in. Oh, nice views. Shows how high we've come. Needless to say, I'm now simultaneously too hot and too cold. I can just never get it right in winter. It's so difficult. But this jacket is, I think, not quite breathable enough for running. It's very nice at the beginning of a run. Very nice if it's very windy. But otherwise, it's like wearing a tent. I think it has placed reflectiveness above performance, so very good if you don't want to get run over, which obviously I don't. Less good if you're prone to getting warm and sweaty, which I'm not really, but I'm still warm and sweaty. Anyway, look, no gorgeous sunset, but I think it'll still be pretty. And just over this hill, you can see the sea. Might be a great day, but that's still a nice view. Wow. Cows! Excuse me. Hello. Hiya. Hi you. Long time no see. My favourite one here. Hello baby. Hiya. How's it going? Hi. Very pretty. The penultimate episode of The High Low, which is one of my favourite podcasts. It's basically current affairs, news, lots of just chat really, and it's so wonderful to listen to, and they've been going for 4 years and they're just about to finish, which is so sad. Oh, look at this. Very pretty. Very pretty. Look how Christmassy. But it's weird, I started listening to them when I left Bristol, and I was listening to them always on my walk on my way to work. Did a 45-minute walk. Oh, look at that. 45-minute walk every day to work, and I used to listen to them. And now they're just finishing just as I head back to Bristol, so it's
quite cathartic, quite nice. But anyway, yeah, I would thoroughly recommend going to have a listen if you're interested in that sort of stuff. If not, I'm going to be having to find new podcasts. And I do, of course, have a blog and a blog post about my favourite podcasts. I will link them here. Last segment of trail is one of my favourites around here. It is just beautiful. Someone made it only like 5 years ago, and it's one of my everyday walk routes just to get out of the house, but it's a lovely little piece of nature you can go through. As you can tell from the video, it's nigh on impossible to go through in winter, so these will be, even if I wasn't moving to Bristol, these would be some of the last times I'd be going through that second bit of trail, because it sort of just turns into swampland or like bog after a while. But yeah, so nice to go through. And in spring, there's a song thrush that lives in there that makes the nicest song. And it was the first time I ever heard a song thrush, and I loved it. One thing I will not miss moving to Bristol is having this hill. Any way you want to come back to the house, there's always this hill. Blech. Then again, Bristol's not exactly not hilly. But this one's just grim. And I'm back. And it is just about to get dark. I'm actually quite warm, finally. Only took 5.5 kilometers, but that was a lovely run. Really so nice to be able to just go up and round. And I think that is one thing that you can't really recreate in a city, is like a beautiful short run. At least not unless you live on the edge of a very nice large park, which unfortunately we won't be, but we will be living close to plenty of beautiful places. But anyway, that is it for this week's vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. I will hopefully be taking you guys out on my next long run here, which will be just before we move. So I will do my best to make it down to the coast, because obviously you can hear the robins. It's very nice. Obviously the coastline is the most beautiful part of down here, and it's something that you don't really get anywhere else. Can't really recreate it on the Avon River path, unfortunately, even though that is beautiful. But anyway, I'm gonna head inside now, have a quick shower and get some actual work done, because I've just spent all of today trying to be outside because it's been such a beautiful day. Thank you very much for watching this vlog. If you did enjoy it, please do give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button, and I'll be showing you around all my routes in Bristol in just a couple of weeks time, which is so exciting. See you all then. Bye.